All right, man. Welcome to another episode of the Draft Nerds podcast. And we joined with a special guest today. Um, this guy, I mean, listen, if you're in um, the draft scene, or if you want to enter the draft, then you know this guy's been shooting up boards. That's none other than Navy defensive tackle Landon Robinson. What's up, my guy?
What's going on, Ethan? Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, Coach?
What up, man? Hey,
Another
look,
guy,
look.
man.
Hey, man, I'm in the presence of greatness. So, hey, look, I'm here. I don't even want to ask no questions, to be honest.
Hey,
Thank you so
man.
much.
Listen, we appreciate you, Landon. For doing this again. Draft Nerds, big fans of yours, and there's so many people who follow Draft Nerds who we talk about you in our spaces a lot. Because we're always talking about prospects, but we like to dive a little deeper than just the top guys that ESPN and NFL Network talk about, because there's guys like you that they kind of, we watch it every year in the draft. These guys fall under the radar, and then they get drafted, and then we're like, well, this dude's an all pro. Where'd he come from? How do we miss him? And so we want to just make sure that we shine a spotlight on you, brother. I'm from Maryland, so you being at the Naval Academy, near and dear to my heart, man. So let's just get this show started.
Yes,
Hey, if you
sir.
guys have any questions for Landon and the audience, obviously put your leave your questions in the comments, and then we'll try to get to some if we can. But yeah, man, Coach been ready for this, so I'm gonna let you get this started, Coach. Let's get it going.
Hey, man, right out the rip, man. So big question, why Navy and how did they recruit you? Like, because, a lot of people don't think, the military academies actually go out and recruit, and you guys essentially just apply for the academy within itself. So,
Yeah, no doubt. That's a great question, Coach. Yeah, thank you for that. I think my journey really started, back in high school. I was a four sport athlete. Baseball, football, track, and wrestling. Did multiple sports, throughout my entire, growing up. I always loved to play sports, love to compete. Just always loved to just, whatever I can do to improve myself, improve my body, in whatever sense that is, I was willing to do it. Right. So played multiple sports throughout high school, and then it was my junior year when I really like got serious about football. I was like, man, like I was getting bigger, I was getting stronger, faster. Football was definitely my best sport, and I was like, man, like football is fun, like let's do it. But then COVID hit. COVID had hit, and that pretty much stunted, my recruitment process in a way, because I wasn't able to go to any camps, wasn't able to really get out there and see, show my talents. Right, it was more just through Twitter, sending my film and just hoping to get some traction. Right, so that's pretty much what happened. I was sending my film out as we were, in lockdown, and I got some traction with it. Got about 30 FCS offers. And then it was my senior year, the end of my senior year, around like springtime. Navy had reached out, and they had to give me an offer, and they said that, hey man, like, it's the military, but we want to, it's good time football, and you get to play big time opponents, and we love the opportunity to have you. And I totally, I took it, and I'm so blessed for that opportunity, just to be a part of the military, but also have the opportunity to go into the NFL. So it's been a great, 4 years, 5 years really, because I went to the prep school of the Naval Academy as well. So it's been a great 5 years, and it's been a blessing that I'm able to be in the situation, preparing for the draft. So.
Awesome, awesome. Landon, talk about your family background. Do you come from a military family, or are you the first generation?
You pretty much, I'm pretty much the first generation. My uncle, he went to West Point. So that's pretty much the only thing I'd ever heard of, like a service academy. I just heard about West Point, which is like our rival, Army Navy game. You probably heard about that. It's something that's a big game we play every single year. But yeah, no, I heard about West Point, and then but that's like really the only military. Well, my grandpa, he was in the Air Force back in the day. But besides that, nothing too much military background. I didn't know much about the military. So when I got the opportunity to go to the Naval Academy, I just learned about, what it entails, like how it can benefit you as a man, as a leader. as a person. And truly, I'm just so blessed that I took the opportunity to come here. And I think I've learned a lot just about myself and who I am as a person, as a military service member, and then obviously as a football player. So I just learned a lot about myself, and I'm just thankful that I took the opportunity.
Nice, nice. So we're gonna stay a little bit on your family right now. Like Matt asked about the military service. How about athletically? You got a lot of brothers and sisters or parents that were into sports, or did you just say, "Hey, look, I'm gonna just take on these 4 sports," or was it kind of born inside of you to be a multi-sport athlete?
Yeah, no, my brother, my older brother, he was in the band growing up, but he also played baseball, right? We played baseball together back in the day. But he kind of, grew out of it and he just, focused more on band. So he wasn't, I have an older brother and I have a younger brother as well. He's a gymnast. So I'm the only football guy out of my brothers, but my dad was a gymnast as well. He did gymnastics at Kent State. And then my mom was like a volleyball player back in high school, but she didn't do it in college. So for the most part, the only collegiate, football player in my family. So I just, I think I just always love to just compete. Like I said earlier, just being able to, put myself out there and compete against the best that there is out there, and just continue to improve myself. I think that's something that I just always loved and always fell in love with just growing up. And I think that led me to where I am now. So I'm thankful for that multi-sport background, just for the athleticism piece, because I feel like that's very important and at being a good athlete.
Awesome, awesome, Landon. So jumping to your process here with the getting ready for the NFL draft. So we talked about it a little bit before we went on air. You didn't receive your NFL Combine invite. So what have you been doing to prepare yourself to be able to show out for these teams? Are you taking top 30 visits? Are you visiting teams? And then like, what's your process of just preparing for the next level without being able to showcase your talents on the stage like the combine?
Yeah, no doubt. That's a great question. I think the combine is it's an important piece, but it's such a small piece to the process, right? Like we have the All-Star game, right? I had the opportunity to go to East West Shrine Bowl and spoke with a lot of teams there, just them getting to know me and then me getting to know them. But I spoke to a lot of teams there, right? But then I didn't get the opportunity to go to the NFL Combine. But you have the pro day, right? At the pro day, we had more than 22 teams there at our pro day, right? Being able to come and watch us perform. So I got to talk to a lot of scouts there, and then obviously, I have some top 30 visits. I got some workouts with teams and all those things that comes with that. Some Zoom calls as well. So all those things throughout from the All-Star game all the way to draft day, you take that and you get these opportunities. So you may not get the opportunity to go to the combine, but you take whatever opportunity you have and you go all out with it, right? So I think that's something that I've been, trying to take advantage of, and I've had these opportunities, so I just got to take the most of it, take advantage of it.
Nice, nice. So we talked about a little bit about the process, and along that process, you met a friend, a well-known friend in Aaron Donald. We seen the clip of it, right? So
Yes, sir.
I got it. People want to have comps and whatnot. What does that look like? That relationship with Aaron Donald thus far, has he said, "Hey, you know what, young man, these are some of the things that you're going to be looking at," or has he signed on to be a mentor to you, or what?
Yeah, no, I had the opportunity it was actually during our spring break. I got in contact with his trainer through my one of my teammates, Eli Heidenreich, who's also going to be in the draft as well. He's from Pittsburgh, and he trained with his trainer way back in the day. So Eli, he reached out to him, or he already had his number. So he was like, "Hey man, like he's told me my entire football career, Eli, that I look like Aaron Donald, I played like him, I was like all this stuff." And I was like, I believed him, but I was like, man, like, he's a great player. He's a, all pro. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, all this stuff. So I've always believed it. And he's been like definitely my motivator. And I watch his film all the time. But then Eli, he sent me his trainer's number, and I pretty much reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, coach, that'd be awesome to have the opportunity to work with you." And obviously we did that. So I worked out with his trainer. But then that same weekend, Aaron Donald was able to be there in Pittsburgh. So I was like, man, like that'd be great if I
That's
can meet him.
awesome.
So I just was able to hang around, and then I was able to chop it up with him, and obviously go through some techniques, go through some what made him so good. What did he do to become as great as he was? And then obviously the size comparison, as you can see, like we're pretty much the same size. So
Yeah, yeah.
and I actually weigh a little more than him, which is nice. But it was a great opportunity, and he truly, he's definitely a mentor to me now, and he's been telling me a lot of different techniques and stuff, that how to use your hands, how to keep the hands active, and just how to use your speed and quickness to your advantage. So it was a great opportunity, and I'm glad that we were able to do that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. So you kind of took it, the question, because I was just about to ask you, what was he showing you here in this video? Like, what was
Hmm.
he trying to explain to you here in this video? Um,
Yeah, yeah, and that,
is
that
it just
video.
technique, getting off blocks? Is that what he was showing you?
Yeah, no, he was showing me. I think I was asking about what did he, when you're working speed to power, right? As a
Okay.
smaller guy, right? You're not going to be able to just always walk guys all the way back. But sometimes you can if you got enough power to it. But if you're most of the time they're going to anchor in, right? So he was explaining how once you start that power move and you start pushing them back, you got to work a edge, work a jab. You got to open up his shoulders and then work a backside counter. So that's pretty much what he was working in that video. And that was something that I was able to pick up on and continue to improve on later on. So it was really cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
that seems pretty cool, man. I mean, if you're going to be an undersized interior defensive lineman, a three technique, that's the perfect guy to learn from. Is there any other guys that you model your game after? When it comes to just trying to refine yourself and say, okay, who am I as a player? We all kind of want to be our own man, our own self, but at the same time,
Hmm.
we do take bits and pieces from other people's game. Is there some other players in the league or in college that you watch to kind of draw from?
Absolutely. Aaron Donald's a big one. I watch his film pretty much every single day. But obviously, I think Kalijah Cansey, he's also out of Pitt. Geno Atkins from the Bengals. Puna Ford on the Rams, right? And then obviously Byron Murphy, who just won a Super Bowl. Like, all those guys are, we're all around the same size, and they're making it work. So I always watch those guys, model my game after them, and just blessed for the opportunity to hopefully follow in their footsteps one day. So it'd be really cool.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
So now that you have gained the experience of going through some of the process, just looking forward to being in this draft process and whatnot. Like, how does that balance work out now? Since you got another layer of things that you got to work in when it comes down to your time management, because you're a cadet, you're a college student. I'm pretty sure you got a personal life that you try and maintain, and then now you got this big old enchilada of the draft. Like, how does that balance work out? Do you have somebody to help you out with that, or are you doing it on your own?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's when you the Naval Academy, not every year does someone have the opportunity to go participate in the draft process. So it's definitely a blessing that we're able to do that, and I'm able to participate in it. But it's right now it's pretty much I graduate in May. Here coming up soon. So right now we're just finishing up classes, working through that. But it's definitely a busy time, but it's similar to like in season, right? In season, we got classes going on, we got games, we got practices that we got to go to. So it's nothing different from just a normal season for me, but it's more of just different. I guess you got to focus your time in different areas, right? You got to make sure that you're talking to coaches. You got to make sure that you're staying on top of the workouts that you may have, right? And making sure you're staying in shape, right, on your own because you're not with the team anymore. So you just got to make sure you're working with the trainer, working with either trainer or by yourself to make sure you're in shape. So it's I wouldn't say it's too busy, but it's definitely something that you got to make sure you're staying on top of and prioritizing what you got to focus on in terms of classes and football. So and the military stuff as well. So but I've been on top of it and it's been good.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Landon, have you started going on team visits yet? And what teams have you met with?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I've had Zoom calls with the Jaguars, the Commanders coming up soon, and then workouts with the Bills, the Ravens coming up soon, the Commanders coming up as well. The Jets, I had a dinner with the Jets, and then obviously a 30 visit with the Bengals is coming up as well. So just multiple teams, and I'm just blessed, for the opportunity for one team to be looking at me. So it's a blessing, and I'm just excited to keep proving myself and just keep staying focused through the process all the way up until the draft day. So I had dinner with the Texans as well. Sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah,
So
that's very
let's go
good.
back there for a second. You mentioned the Ravens. You mentioned it with them soon. So I did a little research. I see that on the Ravens defensive staff is a guy by the name of PJ Volker, former
Mhm.
Navy defensive coordinator. That's your old
Mhm.
coach, right?
That's right.
That,
Yes, sir.
what has PJ? Have you spoken to PJ since he's left the Naval Academy? And I'm sure he's going to be a part of the meeting when you meet with the team.
Absolutely. He's been super supportive. Obviously he was my defensive coordinator. He actually was the linebacker coach that recruited me to Navy. So yeah, we have a super tight relationship, and he's a great person, first and foremost, but a great coach as well. And he brings a lot of energy to the table. So I'm not surprised that he was able to make that next jump to the pros. But he just been super supportive of me, just saying that just keep working, keep going, right? Giving me just the support from the next level piece, right? That people are looking, just keep working, right? That's what he keeps saying. So obviously you can see that it's been working out with me having the opportunity to work out with the Ravens, and I'm not saying that it's gonna be the end all be all with him on staff, but he's definitely probably putting some word out there, right? But I think he's just a great person, a great coach. So I'm just excited to see him when I get up there this upcoming week.
I will say this though: the Ravens have drafted and signed undrafted free agent players from the Naval Academy, probably more so than any other team. Maybe because of proximity, they're familiar with the guys over at Navy. But I do remember when they drafted what Reynolds, right?
Yeah,
Coach
Keenan Reynolds.
Keenan
Keenan
Reynolds,
Reynolds. Yep.
quarterback back in the day, and then
Mm-hmm. For
Diego
go, yes,
Fago,
sir.
linebacker from Navy, and so yeah, man. Obviously, I think you're gonna go a lot higher than those guys went in the
Thank you.
draft.
Thank you.
And man, think about that though. How cool would that be to have the same guy who recruited you in college having now recruiting you to the NFL? I mean, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. You
No,
know, that
that'd
tells you he
be
really likes you.
absolutely right. No doubt, no doubt. It'd be an honor, right, to be be with any team, but especially with the team that has the coach that recruited me to college. So that'd be such a great honor, and I guess we'll find out in a few weeks. So it'd be a blessing.
So real quick before Coach goes, you you mentioned Pittsburgh. Is that where you from? Right, that's where you from.
I'm from Ohio. Yeah, no, I'm
Ohio.
from
Okay,
Ohio.
so
Yes,
yeah,
sir. Near
real close
Akron, Ohio.
proximity.
Where the same place where LeBron's from. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
So
So
yes, sir.
so who did you what was your favorite team growing up? Did you have a favorite team?
I think I just love football in general. I never really had a favorite team. My
Okay.
dad was a
Great
big
answer, bro.
Bengals fan. Yeah, my dad was a big Bengals fan. So I guess I just watched the Bengals growing up, but never really had a team. I just loved football in general and just watching it, and I think it was just a fun game. But I think the Bengals growing up is what I watched the most.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna lighten the mood a little bit here, not too much, but hey, so we see a lot of celebrations in the NFL, right? And we see, you in the collegiate level in the military academy, they don't like that too much. Have you been working on celebrations when you get your first sack?
That's a good question. I think I haven't really thought about it too much. I think just more probably like a flex. You know what I mean? I'll probably just flex off the muscles a little bit. But I haven't been thinking about any dances or anything specific with my first sack. But I just wanna go get that first sack. That's what it is. That's what it is. So I just got to keep working, and hopefully we'll make that come true soon.
That's a great question, Coach. Go ahead.
So, and now we talked about some visits and stuff like that. Like anything bizarre so far, like question wise, or any kind of questions that they ask you that was like, hey, just out of left field. Because I know they do it to kind of lighten you guys up when it comes down to the process. They don't want you to sit through the process being super nervous. Anything bizarre thus far, like hey, sing happy birthday or something like that?
Nothing too crazy from my experience so far. I think the teams have been very just trying to get to know me, right? Asking about my family, asking about my background. They'll do some jokes about like the military, and I'll be like, can you leave like the base or whatever and things like that. Just trying to get to know the military side of it, how that affects the football side of things. But it has but it's been good. It's been great, being able to speak with the coaches and get to know like the military side of it, but at the same time, just getting to know me and me as a player, and I feel like it's been a great experience so far.
Absolutely, man. That's a great question. All right, so Landon, I want to show you something, and I want to get
Yes,
I
sir.
want you to kind of break down your own film with us here on Draft Nerds, and I want to you tell us what your thoughts were, your technique. You remember this game? You know,
Is this the Army
you know what
Navy?
that is?
Yeah, it's the Army Navy
Yeah, Army
game.
Navy.
Yes,
Yep,
sir.
Army
Yes,
Navy,
sir.
man. So I'm gonna play this first clip here, and then we can run it back, and then you tell me, what was your goal here, and what were you trying to do, and setting this offensive alignment up here.
Yes, sir. Boom. Yes, sir. Yeah, no,
Yes,
that's
sir.
that was one of our basic. Is that the same play or is that just another view?
Yeah,
That was a
it's
different
the
play.
same play,
Is
same
that the
play,
same
same
play?
play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same play. Let me run it
I
back again.
believe I'm trying to see what technique I was in. I believe I was in a 2-eye right there. We're a big 4-2-5 defense. So a lot of the times with Navy, I was running the 2-eye, right? Not necessarily the 3 tech. But
Mhm.
I was angling out a lot. So I basically the 3 tech when the ball snapped. So in that play, I was we called it an on call, right? So we have like an on and off call in our defense. And if it's on call, I'll be Oh yeah, that's another play. But on the
Yeah,
on
let me
call,
run it back
we're
again.
angling out to that B gap, right? So I was pretty much on the snap. I'm angling out, playing that B gap, right? And then once I see the ball, I'm playing my gap sturdy, right? They're trying to base me out and playing my gap. And once I see the ball, show its face either in the gap next to me or in my gap, right? I block the struck and go make a play. So on that one, I was angling out to the B gap, boom, played the guard right there. And yep, play that guard, right? Play my gap. I see the ball show up, tight wipe over and get in on a tackle. So that's pretty much what I was seeing on that one. But yeah, Army Navy games are always fun. They're physical, they're
Mhm.
run heavy, so it's a lot of fun being able to be out there and play.
So how important is it, like, you know, dropping your anchor, being able to lock out with your arms, right? And
Hmm.
then being able to shed that blocker, right?
Right.
So for those out there, who don't know, a lot of things that you guys practice to prepare for this type of to be able to do this type of thing on the field is the heavy the bag or the sled where you're coming up high and you're peeking left, right, and then you're shedding that
Hmm.
blocker based on which way the runner is going, right? And that's pretty much the
Sir.
idea of what you were doing on that particular play. You're locking out, and you had a pretty good game in this game, by the way. You're
Yes, sir.
locking out,
Thank you.
yeah, you're locking out, and then you're shedding that blocker. And in this particular play, it looks like you just beat the guy to the punch.
Yes. Yeah, I believe so. Not on this play particularly, but
No, no,
yes.
it's the
On the
one
one we were
before
just
that.
talking
Yeah.
about, yes, yes, sir. No, I definitely did, and that's important. You gotta, a lot of the times when they're trying to base you out in an offensive scheme, they're relying on the offensive lineman to you know push you out, right? Push you out of their gap. So you want to get to that gap, you want to strike or use your hands, peek in the gap, and then be strong with that inside hand so that you can keep pressing the gap. Uh, Down, right? You don't want to keep getting wide and out, make the hole bigger for the running back. So being able to be strong with that inside hand and just keep working the hole down, that's important. So
Absolutely, coach. So
Nice, nice.
how,
So
how
since
did
we,
it make you
what was that, coach?
feel?
Sorry, I don't think I heard you on that one.
no, I was going to ask you, do you have a particular technique? Because we see you moving all over, even if it's little subtle movements, right? Do
Yeah.
you have a certain technique that you just enamored with, like you just love that particular technique?
Yeah, I love the 3 tech. I think the three
Mhm.
tech. I played a lot of 2-eye, but whenever I got the opportunity to play the 3 tech, it was just so much fun, just so much room, and being able to really get off the ball and make a difference on the play. I think during the Shrine Bowl, I was able to play the 3 tech all the time, and during the practices and during the game, I was able to make plays. Just because it's so much room out there, and compared to the inside and the interior, so I loved it. I love playing the 3 tech, and it's so much room in there, and I love being able to use my quickness and speed to get in the backfield and make plays.
Nice.
Have teams told you what they envision for you at the next level? I know a lot of times in those meetings they say, okay, this is where we see you at on our team, or how
Yeah.
we would use you if we drafted you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, they definitely three tech for sure. Some teams are even talking about fullback as well, which I'm totally down for. I played that in the Army Navy game this past season. Right, played some fullback, blocking, running downhill, right, helping get the first down. So yeah, definitely some fullback and then D tackle, a three tech. So 100%, I
The
think
more
that's
you can
something
do,
that
right?
I'm excited for. Right, the more I can do, the better. Right, the more versatile you are, the better. So I think that's something I'm definitely excited for.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love your versatility. I think that's what makes you one of the unique players in this draft is your ability to just do multiple things. I think about another former Raven guy like Pat Ricard, right? He came to the Ravens from Maine as a defensive tackle and became an all-pro fullback.
That's awesome.
So it's just like, he didn't come in with the mindset of like, this is what I am. I just want to be this, and I'm not willing to do anything else. He kind of
Hmm.
came in saying, you know what? I want to do whatever it takes to be on the football field. I think you can be a top tier interior defensive lineman. There's not a lot of three techniques in this draft, and me and Coach been talking about it. There's only a few guys who are true three techniques. This is a draft loaded with nose tackles and guys who play over the ball. So I think that puts you in
Right.
a unique position, um, because you have something that the league is looking for, and there's not a lot
Thank
in
you.
this particular draft. I know you mentioned a few guys that you model your game after. There's another guy that's on the Ravens, Namdi Metabike, who you have a similar build to him as well. He's more
Hmm.
of a three technique, came out of Texas A&M a little undersized.
Yeah,
But he also worked with Aaron Donald as well. And
that's awesome.
he learned to kind of use his quickness and his strength to his advantage. And I think I see a lot of that in your game as well.
Yes,
Um,
sir. Thank you.
yes, sir. Coach, what you got?
Yeah. So, quick question. So, if you didn't play defense and you play some offense, any particular position on offense that you would be, looking at if you were to go get snaps on the other side of the ball?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think fullback, right? I think fullback, I think that's something that I definitely I've had a little bit of background with that with at Navy and playing the Army Navy game as some fullback. So I definitely, yeah, I'd be down to go run downhill and go hit somebody, no matter what it is. So it'd be awesome. Even some
Uh,
special teams as well. I played punt, all 4 years, and then I was on kickoff my first year as well. So it was awesome. Yeah, definitely anything.
Nice. Cool.
we got a couple of minutes left here with Landon Robinson. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll try to ask them. So let me go here. So draft day, what are you going to be doing? What is it going to be like in the Robinson household? What are you going to be doing? Are you having a party? Are you having family come over? You got a special outfit? What's your plans for
Yeah.
draft weekend?
No, that's a great question. I think my mom has been handling a lot of that. She's been all over it. She's got this restaurant. I think it's called Winking Lizard.
Okay.
We're probably gonna be in there, and they have this like private area that I think we're gonna be having some people over. We're gonna have a whole lot of different people from way back in the day. My coaches, my friends from high school, like even some of my people in college obviously are going to be there as well. So we're just going to have a little get together, have some food, just be watching the draft, Friday, Saturday. And I think it'll be good. It'll be a good time. So it'll be good. I don't know I think I'm gonna wear something fancy, a little something, put something on, of course. But I'm just excited to watch the TV and just to hear my phone ringing. So that's what I'm
Absolutely.
excited for.
That's dope, man. Then I'm sure some of your teammates are probably going to come over and celebrate with you. And I know you got another teammate that's also in the draft as well.
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
you
sir.
mentioned. So man,
Eli
go
Eli
Navy.
Heinrich, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
Howard.
sir.
Yeah. Hey, go
Yeah.
Navy, man. This is a big time for you. I'm
Thank
happy
you.
for you and your family. And man, I can't wait to see where you end up. Hopefully you end up in Baltimore. But if not, man, I'm going to be following your career. And hey, don't forget to come back on the show, man. Once you become an NFL player, man. Once you hit it big
No
time, don't
doubt.
forget about the draft nerds over here.
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
so I don't know if you can see behind me and all that, but I got a jersey collection going on, right? So
Mhm.
what better way to put a Robinson up in this room right here? So I'm asking for it right now. If I got to pay for it, I'll pay for it. It don't bother me, but I'm asking for it. Reason being is because not just because you're making it to the NFL, but because
Yes,
I'm a
sir.
service member as well. So to see another
That's
service member
awesome.
be able to grace the NFL stage, hats off to you, man. So go do what you do and represent.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. No, I appreciate that. And yeah, let me know. I'll definitely see if I can have an extra jersey that my mom doesn't want, and I can send it your way. So I appreciate it so much, and thank you guys so much for your time, and
Of
excited for the
course.
process. So
Of course. Thank you,
I
Landon.
appreciate it. Yeah, thank you guys so
Appreciate you.
much. Have a good one. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.